This is another video in my How This Channel Could Make More Money series. Now, how this series works is that I look at a channel and how they could make more money, and I use my knowledge and experience in this field to give you an idea of how certain channels can make money by selling info products. I will also advocate for School.com instead of any other platform, because School is, in my opinion, the best platform for selling any info product. And the channel that we'll be looking at today is this channel, Hannah Kim. It's in the health niche. As you can see, there are some videos that do very well, especially the losing weight related videos. And so the first thing that we'll be looking at is the offer. So what do we offer? What would I offer if I was selling a product like this? Well, the goal is to improve your health in a certain amount of days. And this could be get in shape or improve gut health. That is the main offer. That is what the info product should primarily focus on, because those are the things that perform best inside of this channel. And so what would be inside of the offer? Well, I'd have coaching calls, I'd have health audits. I'll get more into detail on those later. I would also have a full gym course so that people get to that goal much faster. I would have a health course and, of course, the community, like any other offer. And so what would these coaching calls and health audits really be like? Is you have to combine these, and if you combine these, you have a very powerful method of keeping people engaged with the things that you are saying. So what I do is I create health audits for the health levels of people. And when they just get started, they probably have bad health, but then over the long time, it gets better, and then they focus more on optimizing health. And then you want to use those health trackers and health audits to really make it so that people can push the limits of how good they can get their health. And then once people have filled in those health audits, they can see where they're lacking, and then they can use those and send them in so that this creator can review those audits inside of group calls to give them personal advice, because that's really what's going to help the most, is just having people send in those health audits, having them post them in the community, and then reviewing them, seeing what can be done, how they can change their health, how they can improve it. Really, those main focus points, that's what this creator, in my opinion, should be focusing on. This is also a great engagement booster. So if you have something like health audit PDFs or images which they can edit and then post in the community, that makes so that people are more likely to post them in the community. And you really want to encourage people to post them inside of the community, because that's going to drive up the engagement. That's going to make the community so much warmer. So that's a great thing to do. And then next is we're looking at the sales page. So your main selling point should be improve gut health and get in shape. Well, what do you get inside? Inside you get the health audits, the personal advice to improve your health, which is done in group calls, and the full course on building your dream body. And as a bonus, you get the full Get Health course and a community that keeps you accountable to living healthy. And then your call to action. And so what is the main problem? Because that's really something important I try to bring into every video. What is the main problem this community is going to have? Well, for this one, I think it's going to be overwhelm. And you have to solve this, and the best way to solve this is by onboarding. If your onboarding is done right, you can pretty much remove all the problems you get from people joining and having overwhelm. So what do? Well, after they join, there is a pinned post which they can click. But if they're not really gonna click it, you need to make sure that you have an auto DM set in place so that when people join, they get a DM pointing them towards that pinned post. And then you want them to take their health audit. So on that pinned post, you tell them, take your health audit. So they go, click that link inside of that post. They go to that classroom page. They take the health audit. They fill everything in, and they post it inside of the community. And this way the creator has easy access to all the information for on the call. So imagine somebody goes in the call and says, I have this problem. I have constant stomach pain. Well, the creator can then go to the profile of that person. They can look at those posts and see the health audits of that person, see what can be done, see how they can change it. And then you want to get them to watch the intro of the course. So since the main focus here is going to be calls, you want to have something that keeps them in there until the next call is coming up. So you get them to watch the intro to the course. And this intro, in my opinion, should really be general health knowledge the customer can start doing today. Now, why is this? Is because if you can deliver them a win very fast, that means they're more likely to actually stay engaged with the product and focus on the things that you tell them to focus on. So if they can do something right now, one action or habit that instantly makes them feel better, that's the right way to approach this intro to that course. Then you want to get them on a call whenever the call is scheduled. And then you want to keep the audit and call cycle going. So what I mean by this is they fill in the audit, they go on the call, the creator reviews the audit. Once that's done, they implement the changes. And once they have implemented those changes, they see what changes for them, how their health improves, and then they take another audit, maybe a more advanced one. They see what has changed, and then they get more specific advice on what they can do to improve their gut health. And what about pricing? Well, for pricing, there are two ways this could really be priced. The first is that it's high ticket, which is that the main reason for that is that the call cost has to be covered. What I mean by that is that you're gonna be spending a lot of time doing all these calls, so it's only reasonable that you charge more because you're spending more time. The other option is that you sell it low ticket, but you have a tiered option. So the regular low ticket should be $20 to $50 a month, and then they just get what is on the sales page, but they get a limited amount of group calls just because this is really the time sensitive variable. And then for the tiered option, so this option should have a price that's a lot higher. You answer all their questions, so they can hop on a call. These certain tiered members, they can all hop on that call and they're gonna get their questions answered no matter what. Because if you have a lot of people but only a few of them are in a higher tier option with exclusive calls, then it's more likely that you're going to be able to at least answer those people's questions. Because if you have 1,000 people on this tier, maybe 100 join your live calls every single time that you do one, you're going to have to be answering a lot of questions, putting in a lot of effort. That's why either go high ticket or just sell a tiered option and have it low ticket with limited group calls. And I think that this is the best approach if this creator were to decide to start selling an info product. If this video was helpful, then like and subscribe. And if you are a content creator and you want me to help you in creating and scaling an info product, then click the first link in the description.